Hey guys, welcome in. Today we're going to preview USC and Fresno State. This is going to be a really good game. In many ways it feels like the home opener. It's going to be a packed house in the Coliseum, night game, Pac-12 after dark, under the lights, against USC's toughest challenge yet in Fresno State. Fresno State will not be scared or intimidated coming into the Coliseum, so it's crucial that USC steps off the bus ready to play for 60 full minutes because Fresno State is going to be ready. Alright, so let's dive into it and meet these Fresno State Bulldogs. Fresno State is led by head coach Jeff Tedford. He's back for his second stint with the Bulldogs, and they're playing very well under him. Now, by far, the biggest star, the best player on this Fresno State team is their quarterback, Jake Haener. In my opinion, he's without a doubt a top 10 quarterback in the country. He can absolutely sling it. He's as tough as they come. He's a great leader. He's a little undersized at what Fresno State says is 6'1", but I'd be shocked if he's above 6 foot. And in this Fresno State offense, they're going to throw the ball a ton. In his first two games, he had 42 and 45 attempts. He has an NFL arm. He has one of the quickest releases in the entire country. I'd put it on par with Bryce Young's. When I watched his film against Oregon State, what stood out most is that he can fit the ball into virtually non-existent windows. He threads the needle with absolute precision and velocity, and he does it consistently. He's just an overall phenomenal playmaker. He can extend plays, he can throw off platform. He is so hard to defend. He is going to give this defense fits. Another thing I noticed from watching some of his old games as well is that he throws across his body very accurately and very confidently. So the USC defensive backs have to be on their toes at all times because you don't know when a ball is going to come your way. Jake Haener just plays this game with a fearless mindset. He will hang in the pocket to the absolute last second, take a complete shot, and still make a great throw. I counted about 5 or 6 throws last week against Oregon State where a defender is just bearing down on him and he hangs in the pocket and still gets the ball off. He's also fearless in the sense that there's no window he won't throw into. He's so confident in his arm, he will throw the ball anywhere. Now this is both a positive and a negative for Haener. He will throw the opposing defense a few balls a game, and as the USC defense has already done a great job of, they have to make plays on the ball and intercept it. As Jake Haener goes, Fresno State goes. So if the USC defense can find a way to slow him down or neutralize him completely, the game will be won. This Fresno State passing offense is number 43 in terms of passing efficiency in the country. They love their deep shots, so the USC secondary is going to have to be prepared for that. Hopefully the pass rush can get there in time. The last thing this USC defense needs is to give him time to throw the ball. Now when they're not throwing it, they'll be handing it off to Jordan Mims, and he is a fantastic running back. He's a 6 foot, 205 pound senior who can really do it all. He has great vision, he has a great burst, and we saw both of those on full display against Oregon State, where he had 21 carries for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has pretty good hands out of the backfield as well. They'll throw him an occasional screen pass, but most of the time they'll hit him on a swing route out of the backfield. This offense will do some wide receiver sweeps and some double passes as well, so the USC defense will have to be on their toes for that. Now moving to the receivers, Cal transfer Nico Remigio is their number 1 option. He had 100 yards receiving in each of their first 2 games. Josh Kelly is their big play threat downfield. He's almost averaging 20 yards per catch currently. A very solid receiving core, nothing to really scare you too bad. Jake Haener definitely elevates the play of his teammates. Now moving to this Fresno State offensive line, their offensive line actually has really good size. Their tackles are 6'6" and 6'7" respectively. They opened up some big holes in the run game against Oregon State last week, so USC will have to be stout in their run defense. This line, particularly the tackles, are vulnerable in pass pro. We saw that in the Cal Poly game for sure, as well as the Oregon State game. They would get overrun at times. So Corey Foreman's going to have to step up, Solomon Bird's going to have to step up, the pass rush is going to have to be consistent in this game. We're going to have to attack those 2 tackles. Maybe this is a game where Tooley will get some reps on the edge. Whatever USC can do or scheme up to provide consistent pressure, they need to do it. So moving to the Fresno State defense. Starting with the defensive line, this is definitely a D-line that lacks size. Their 2 starting defensive ends are David Perales, who's 6'3", 255, and Isaiah Johnson, who's 6'2", 245. I saw multiple plays last week where those guys just got absolutely blown off the ball by the Oregon State offensive line. Obviously, with USC's offensive line playing as well as they are, the trench play on the offensive side of the ball for USC is very favorable. There is a familiar face starting in the Fresno State linebacking core. Former Trojan Raymond Scott is starting there, so there's some familiarity there for the Trojans. Now moving to the secondary, this is one of the more aggressive secondaries you'll see in all of college football. They'll try to jump routes, they'll try to take your head off over the middle of the field. They blasted a few of Oregon State's wideouts last week. so the USC backs and receivers will definitely have to keep their head on a swivel. With the secondary being so aggressive, that both helps and hurts them. If you jump a route against USC and this quarterback and these receivers, and you're wrong, it's going to be 6 most of the time. Fresno's best corner is sophomore Cale Sanders Jr. The secondary overall is pretty solid for Fresno State, but I don't think they have the horses to keep up with the USC wideouts. And now for my keys to the game. First up on offense, keep up the explosive plays. Stress that Fresno State secondary early. Show them that they can't keep up with our guys. Number 2 is limit turnovers. You don't want to give Jake Haener the ball any more than you have to. And the last one for the offense is very simple. It's don't take your foot off the gas. We saw that last week where the offense became very lackadaisical, and it really just seemed like they were coasting throughout that second half. You can't afford to do that in this game. Jake Haener is too good of a quarterback. He will make you pay. Now moving to the defense, the first key is don't let Jake Haener extend plays. He does a lot of his best work when he's outside of the pocket, running to the right or left. He can throw across his body. He's very dangerous. Number 2 is get off the field on third down. This is an area that the USC defense has to improve. Third down is too critical. The last one for the defense is to limit the explosive plays. This Fresno State offense is built on explosive plays. Jake Haener loves to throw it deep, and their running game is very explosive as well. You want to make the Fresno State offense beat you by going underneath all game, because eventually Jake Haener will get impatient and he'll throw you a pick. I'm very confident going into this game. I think it's going to be a very good challenge for USC, by far the toughest opponent they've played this year. If USC goes into this game believing their own hype and not taking Fresno State seriously, I think they're going to be in big trouble. I don't foresee that happening, but you never really know, I guess. USC should win this game. USC has to win this game. And I have them doing just that with a final score of 52-40. Make sure you leave me your score prediction down in the comments. So that'll do it for my game preview for USC against Fresno State. Thank you all so much for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Fight on!